to go to the bathroom with your bag, why is another woman asking me, like, so I'm going to the office, I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm passing one of my colleagues, and it's like, oh, how you doing? Da-da-da. Oh, are you going for lunch now? Oh, no, I'm just going to the bathroom quickly. Oh, with your bag? Surely we all know. Like, we all know if I'm carrying a bag.
Why did you put the pad in your pocket?
I didn't think I had pockets that day. I think I was even wearing these trousers. Okay, so it's like, sometimes, like, if I don't wear the right...
Makes sense.
Yeah. And also, you know when you're trying to do the slip?
Yeah.
And there's too many people around, so I just allowed it and I just took my bag.
We're in March, and March is one of my favourite days of the year, which is International Women's Day on March the 8th. Before we kick off into a really exciting episode, just wanted to get your quick views on what does this day mean to you guys? Like, have you always thought about it growing up? Is it like a fairly recent thing you've become aware of? Or like, I just want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, for me, it's very recent. Like literally the last that I think I've been really aware of it. Like most days and months, I think they shouldn't be days and months. They should be a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet, so that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'd agree with Symiah. Like, I feel like my only real experience of it has been from quite a corporate place. Like, jobs being like, oh, do you want to be a part of, like, content for International Women's Day? Showing a young black girl. And I'm like, no, thank you. Or just being on social media and there being the themes that we've had. Or like, obviously, since starting Untold, it's something that we've obviously been a lot more active with. But I think prior to the last 4 years, I don't really think it was really on my radar. Not in the way, if I compare it, the only thing I can really compare it to is Black History Month, which has been a staple in my life from like birth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I'd say it was probably the last 3 years. Like, I don't think I was aware of it much before that. And it was similar to Nieema. It was like social media, hashtags, and like seeing different posts like Happy International Women's Day. Probably didn't know it was a thing until I saw it on social media. And then obviously again, since we started Untold in 2020, wow, it was 23 years nearly. Yeah, like obviously now it's something that we want to highlight as well and like put out there. So yeah, I feel like it's quite a recent thing for me.
Yeah. No,
what about you?
I don't know. I feel like, so I went to an all-girls school from like year 1. So all the way up. So the first time I was in like a co-ed environment was actually at university. So it was a massive thing. So I went to, for those of you who don't know, I went to a school in Nepal until like I was 11. So, but it was massive. And it was an all-girls school and they're like, majority of the teachers were female, majority of the teacher, and then the head teacher was obviously, she was very much like a advocate for women empowerment. So it was very much a thing. Like we used to do essay writing competitions and we used to pick like issues that were relevant to us and stuff like that. That was taught to us from a very, like, since I was like 5 probably. So it's always been really big. That's perhaps why I'm like, it's been, women empowerment is something that I've always been passionate about. But obviously, like, as you grow older, you realise a lot of these things, it is capitalised, just because that's where we live, but also it's adopted by a certain type of being women or, like, womanhood, which I want to highlight is not the case. Like, it's actually, you know, what being women might be for us in Western society. Even though we have, like, diversity here, right, we've got, like, different ways of being. It might be different to what it would be like to be a woman in, even in Nepal, for example. So yeah, I think it's just really important to like not miss out on that, and that there's like multiple facets, I guess, of just.
Do you feel like it was only in Nepal where it was a big deal? Because obviously you then came to the UK. You went to girls' schools.
Oh, agree. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It wasn't. Yeah, in Reading Girls, it wasn't.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna put them on blast.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure we did like bits. Like, I'm sure they did bulletin boards and stuff like that. I just can't remember it. Yeah, I can't remember it being like massive. But yeah, Black History Month, Nieema was very much driving it. So I do remember.
There was nothing before.
There was nothing before Nieema. It
was pioneer.
One of the things that you said, and I really want to jump on, is that like how you said it was more like a Western thing, like in terms of it's from a Western perspective, and I think it's so ironic considering that like it'll be like international is like in the name, and yet the whole ideologies and all of that comes from westernized women, and I think it's so crazy because womanhood is very different across different cultures.
So different.
And it would have been great to use this as an opportunity to like understand different types of womanhood and people like embrace different parts, because I think we got a lot to learn, and I think it would be great to share all that information and people find womanhood that works for them. But it's not that, it's more of a it's like a preaching down
Agreed.
Of what womanhood looks like.
Yeah, and it's very much the same path. So okay, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite part of being women? Let's open it up with like a bit of positivity. What do you love about it? Then we'll talk more about the heavy, deep stuff.
I like dressing up.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah.
Like I like looking
Options,
cute.
yeah.
I like, like doing my hair. I can do it in this style, this style, this style. Like I like the versatility that it comes with. Both from like I like how I can dress cash and low key look like a 12-year-old boy if I want to, and then I can look sexy fine on a Saturday
like
night. You know what I mean?
Like
I can mix it up.
What about you, now?
I feel like the same. I mean, obviously I'm not there yet, and I don't know when I will be there. But I think it's pretty amazing that we can carry life. Like just that. I feel like it's just. I feel like it's so just like, oh yeah, women get pregnant, but that's crazy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like actually carrying a whole human being for like 40 weeks. So yeah. I'm not there yet. Haven't experienced. But
any more news?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, also I'm pregnant. But when I get there, I'm gonna really enjoy that. I hope. I hope.
I'm not much of a dressing up person, as everyone would know.
Yeah.
So that's not really something I engage with in womanhood. But I do love the things that our bodies can do. Like I think it's actually incredible.
Yeah.
Not necessarily pushing anything out, because I love my body very much intact as it is, but like even just what our bodies physically, like not only can we carry life, we can feed from our bodies. What can men do? Sorry.
No, it's true.
I
just
maybe that's the title. What can men do?
Yeah.
No, we are life,
screaming.
really.
Quite literally,
I think it's such a privilege to be the pinnacle.
No, I agree, and actually, there's been a study that's come out that I shared with the on a group chat, but actually, it's the woman's egg that decides what sperm it allows.
Yeah.
So it's not which sperm gets there first. It's about actually many sperms can get there, but if the egg says no,
not this one,
it just won't happen.
Sperm, no.
It just won't happen. So which is really interesting. I do want to highlight. It's interesting that we talk about like our bodies and like being able to give birth and stuff like that, and it's interesting because a lot of the women events that I go to will always talk about like being a mum and being a working mum and all the rest of it. It's a bit controversial, but I just think not all women give birth, right? Not all women are able to carry biological children. Doesn't make them any less women. All some whatever. So some women don't have uteruses. Doesn't make them any less women. So I think it's just important to just, I guess, really highlight that, because I for me, womanhood, to me specifically in my head, is just a sense of belonging. Like I can't explain it, and I wish maybe in the future men also find this, I guess, like sense of brotherhood, but just sense of like belonging to a place that you just know is safe. Like when you're laughing with your friends, or like say something very mundane happens, but you share it with your friends. Just that I've known love through the women in my life, I think. So to me, that is what my favorite part is of being woman. Just that womanhood, and just like being able to, I guess, be wrong in a safe space, and like having people around you that will say, actually, that was wrong, but let's talk about it.
Do you not feel like men have been able to create those spaces?
Men in
they've got their own versions of it. I think they've got their own versions of that. But also, just a quick side note, I think that's not a common experience. A lot of people are like have had really negative experiences from the women in their lives. So I think it's like 100%. It's like we can't necessarily.
You can't say that's what that's experience that encompasses womanhood.
No, but this
Yeah.
is what I
That's
guess
what I
the
was gonna say,
conversation is,
yeah,
because Serena's version of womanhood, your version, my version
Yeah.
is all
Yeah,
different,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's why, like,
Yeah.
It's really individual. Isn't
I-
it?
It is really individual.
I just want to highlight that I get that. I don't think it's maybe I'm generalizing, but like growing up in terms of, especially if you go to the Western society is really, really hyper individualistic. But if you go, like, I grew up in Nepal, right? So I grew up in Asia, South Asia specifically, and like it's not an individualistic society per se. So actually you have like groups of women, everybody's your aunt, everybody's this, and you grow up and it's like let's say for example when we made anything that was like remotely nice, like we make any food, best believe 6 houses around, they would come over, sit in the courtyard, and you talk. So every winter, I remember, so we used to have like winter holidays for 4 weeks. So every December, Jan, between that period. And every afternoon around 12, it'd be groups of women, we'd sit together, they'd talk, we have peanuts and oranges. It's just a thing you do, because that's when the sun is out for a little bit. So actually what I've seen growing up, and like hearing stories, especially in that community, from like Indian communities and stuff like that as well, actually, one experience that I've heard about a lot is actually just your people. So I get that. I do get there's instances where women will be like, actually you feel like you're forced to compete with each other, or like they've had bad experiences.
Yeah.
But I think that's in the minority compared to, like, if you look at the global majority, I think for them, when they think about their people, the community, like when you're giving birth, when your baby needs to be looked after, like my mum couldn't breastfeed me, somebody else breastfed me for the first 2 months of my life. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a community. So it's maybe it is a more less westernized view of things, but in my head, that's what I've always thought of. So like, whilst I'm getting ready, I don't know, like for example, Ty, she'll be whatever, like doing something else. I don't know. It's just, that's just what
It makes sense.
I
Yeah.
picture. Just like, yeah.
This is the whole point, and I think this is what hopefully the month and the discussions around, you know, this whole month, Women's Day should be, is that what is your version of womanhood, and how do I like that, and can I subscribe to that? Because I'm definitely not pushing out a baby, but I am very much for our bodies and how it can give life, and how it supports life in general. But then I would learn about this and be like, actually, I want to embrace that side of womanhood even more. But that's definitely not what's happening.
Yeah.
Do you not feel that you have a womanhood community? Because I definitely...
I do, but not of that, maybe because we're not actually...
Yeah.
No, definitely.
I think my mum's has, I would argue, a very solid, more than I have, I would argue. Like,
it seems like it.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
They are adorable. So for those of you who don't know, my mum and her group of friends, they've been friends for like way over decades. And every month they have a theme and they do a dinner party and everybody gets dressed up and like, it's just a thing. Everybody shows up. It's just like, no matter what, people will move work around, people will have childcare provisions in place. They will come from like all over the place, and they always say at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, they will do this. And it's been a continuous tradition for almost 8 years from memory, and they haven't missed a month. So
really good.
So I think it can be done. So often when we talk about womanhood, and you always talk about like, you know, children and like almost like this idea of you have to set yourself aside, or like, you know, you can't have it all at the same time. Actually, maybe the way to have it all is to have a strong community of women around you. Because that way you don't have to have it all on your own. So
can we even dissect what all is?
Yeah.
Because what is all? Well, I actually, like, when I was younger, I was like, I can have everything.
Yeah, agreed.
I am,
fantastic.
Yeah.
10/10.
No, I thought, why can't, because in my like anger towards the system, I'm like, yeah, no, we can have it all. But now I'm just thinking, what do you mean all? Is all subscribing to a system that burns us out? And is that why you're saying...
It's a capitalist model,
Yeah, so because what is...
It's all you want.
Then most people can.
Yeah.
Because if you want it, you can...
That's a simplified way of looking at it. I think if wanting it was enough, then everyone would be fine.
No, but like in terms of, because if you're saying it's what you want, if you say, okay, in my life, my priority is my career, and that is my priority. That's okay for it to be
But-
when you're having it all.
But what if no? But what if you want a career, you want a they're
You- and
at
you
the
can
same
have
level.
that.
But listen, this is the question. So you say you want a family, you want a career, and you want to have an individual life outside of these things. You don't want to just be a mum, a wife, sister, daughter,
Yeah.
whatever. You want an individual life outside of that. I would argue.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't had children, so I can't speak. But from what I've witnessed, I don't think it's as easy as these are my priorities. I'll make it happen. When your child is now getting ill, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
no,
your boss wants that done tomorrow. Your hormones are moving, like you can't think straight. And then how do you find that time to be like, actually, I also want to develop in these areas and I want to go to Pilates? I don't think it's
No,
as simple as
hard.
wanting it all.
I
As
think.
someone who has raised 2 boys, I can attest to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's a case of being like, okay, then. And I don't know, it's me saying, what is all? Is it all meaning that they're taking all from you, then all that you can give? Is what I'm probably. I don't know how I'm.
Yeah, I
don't know
get
how
you.
what
But
I'm-
if
it's coming
if
across.
that's what you want, right? So I get what you mean. I think it's easy when your priorities are under your control, but when it's other people's, like for example, let's take anyone as an example. Say they prioritize only career. Like for example, you, right? You're saying a month I'm gonna focus on my career.
Yeah.
You're saying you have to do it in chunks,
Yeah.
You
right?
can't do that if you
But
have
you
a child.
can't do that if it's
child,
at this.
yeah.
Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
You can't
it's
go
not.
3 months.
So it's not.
You can't be like, I'll spin the block in 9 months.
I'll come back for you.
Yeah, that's not how it. So
Yeah.
if you're saying
No, I mean, like, I think what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming across great, is that.
I can't even make it to the gym.
Yeah.
So I was
That-
like,
but-
don't have it all. I don't even have kids, bro.
yeah, I don't.
Like-
I don't even
I
have.
can't imagine like
That's what you can
looking
give.
after another life right now. I can't imagine.
Like
that's-
full time.
But that's what you
Cooking
can give.
for
yeah.
them, feeding them.
Yeah, but
It's
this
a
is.
lot. I can barely feed myself.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
No, but
I can't feed myself. So like my mum has to come to my room. So I'm working ridiculous hours. I wouldn't recommend. So for those of you who don't know, I work in investment banking. So it is what it says on the tin, right? Long hours, signed up for it, fine. But like my mum will come and make sure there's like 2 liters of bottle there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. I couldn't function with the hours I'm doing right now. And then even if I really wanted, like I want to be able to spend time with like people, or like there have been times where I couldn't make it to like
Yeah.
Serena performing because of work. Like you can't, even if you really really want to,
yeah.
it's not possible. So I don't think wanting it is
it's
the
not.
No,
defining factor.
We're
No,
limited.
Yeah.
By
it's not-
time,
yeah,
by
it came
money.
across really badly. It's
No,
not,
I get what you're trying to say. No, I get it. Yeah, but
We
I
have to
just
eat, so.
yeah, you
to
do.
eat.
What do you guys not enjoy so much about?
Period.
yeah, I was literally
Oh,
just about to
do you-
say that.
That is my
Also, for me personally, my fatigue. I'm tired all the time.
You are tired all the time.
All the time.
Me
And
too.
I know obviously things like anemia. There's certain things that are more common in women.
Yes.
So I'm gonna blame that for now.
Do you? Funny story.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm still not like it hasn't been confirmed. It hasn't been confirmed that I'm anemic.
It's anemia. I'll never
No,
forget.
I don't have low B12 though.
Okay.
I have low ferrous sulfate, which is
That's-
basically it's not the same thing.
What is it? What is it called?
It's not called anemia. It's called iron deficiency anemia.
And anemia.
No, iron deficiency anemia, but it's a different type.
But it has anemia in it.
No, not necessarily.
No, okay, let me tell you the
She's
story.
not willing to accept that she's in
No,
I'm
yeah.
not.
I
Is that
think
what's going on?
no.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
when we were
anemic.
living in Kings Road,
Yeah.
I have low iron.
Serena.
But wait, didn't you just say you were anemic?
No, I didn't say that.
I don't know
What
what's
did you
going
refer to yourself as?
Iron deficient anemia.
It's called iron
Oh, is that what she
deficiency.
just said? Oh.
It's iron deficiency.
Anemia.
I just,
Finish the phrase. Iron deficiency anemia.
Why are you fighting this?
Because I didn't like Shreeya trying to label me back in the
she's trying to-
day.
Do you know what's crazy? She described her symptoms. I said, Serena, that sounds like anemia. Maybe you should get it checked out. She said, I don't subscribe to labels.
I went to the doctor, obviously. They gave me tablets.
and,
I was
yeah. And you were drinking hell of orange juice.
To absorb it better. Anyway, my point was, I think like being, you know how you obviously made a good point about like our bodies and what they can
Yeah.
do. I think equally, our bodies can also be our source of suffering.
Okay.
And we go through so many changes. And I'm not personally someone who there's some people, you guys could be these people, who really are in tune, and it's this week of the month I'm gonna be feeling like this, and this week of the month I'm gonna be really productive. I don't have that. I just power through whatever's going on. So
can I just say sorry, can I just say I think people have actually capitalized menstrual cycle and I have had enough. But okay, carry on.
I just feel I'll just power through. I'm not gonna, unless it's
be powered through.
yeah, not every day. I don't know, but I just think what was my point? I think
your body is a source of suffering.
Yeah, it can be it can as a woman, it can your hormones, so many things. You go through so many changes, even in a month's period. Yeah. So it's that side of it isn't always great for everyone. Me, I'm all right, but it's not all right for everyone.
I had to call the ambulance one time.
Oh, I came to the hospital with her.
They put me on IV.
Yeah.
No, I get really ill.
Yeah, she was very unwell. I was like, do you want me to come with you? She said no. And I said, okay, are you sure? I asked multiple. She said, yeah, you have to come with. And then I went, I left, and she was like, do you want to come with me? So I had to go back.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Wait, was this in first year?
Yes.
I remember this.
Yeah. We were on campus.
Oh, yeah. You actually did think you were dying.
Yeah.
I remember this. Oh, my gosh. This is when we... Oh, sorry, I'm getting the flashbacks. I can see you in the corridor in your flat.
Yeah. No, it's
oh,
actually,
no.
It's actually bad. So, so for them to even... Because I think people, on the outside are oh, it's a period, it's bad. Yeah. But for them to keep me in and put me on IV, it tells you how much my body lost. Yeah. Because I was so... I lost a lot. Because I lose a lot of liquid. And, no, because when I say I lose a lot of liquid, I am vomiting. I'm losing blood and I have diarrhea.
Yeah. So dehydrated.
I think it was a diarrhea that they were concerned about. I remember.
Everything comes out. I was over there saying.
I can literally see Symiah, and it's not funny, but
we have to laugh.
No, we had a good time, didn't we? We bonded.
You don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah, we bonded.
Every month now.
Yeah. And then you came with me to the hospital.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Womanhood, that's what I'm saying. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, I think what I don't like is that our bodies can be governed. Mm-hmm. That's what I hate about the fact of being women. Yeah. I'm sure you guys have all heard Roe v. Wade was overturned in America and all the rest of it. So, and that's just one country. There's still so many countries where women can't make choices about whether to carry a baby or not. Yeah, that's what I don't like.
I think it recently in the UK there's been
I saw that
they tried to give women menstrual
leave,
and they said it's discriminating against men if they do menopause leave, and it's discriminating against men. And I need period leave, let alone the menstrual.
Finland is doing.
It really makes sense. It should be. People really go through it.
I think
Exhibit A.
We need to attach every. Yeah, it's mad. I think we need to attach men to the menstrual cycle.
I've seen stuff like that. There are videos like that.
To work once a month for a whole year. Send them to work. Tell them to type.
I hate being in the office on my period.
It's the worst.
And occasionally just
the other day,
water so they feel a bit wet.
when you have to go to the bathroom with your bag. Why is another woman asking me So I'm going to the office. I'm going to the bathroom. And I'm passing one of my colleagues, and it's oh, how you doing? Da-da-da. Oh, are you going for lunch now? Oh, no, I'm just going to the bathroom quickly. Oh, with your bag? Surely we all know. We all know if I'm carrying a bag.
Why didn't you just put the pad in your pocket?
I didn't think I had pockets that day. I think I was even wearing these trousers. Okay, so it's sometimes, if I don't wear the right...
Makes sense.
Yeah. And also, when you're trying to do the slip?
Yeah.
And there's too many people around, so I just allowed it, and I just took my bag.
That reminds me of. Do you remember that meme when we were in school?
Yeah.
When it's you're trying to ask your pad,
you got a pad?
Do you got a pad?
What? I got a pad?
But why is there so much shame around menstruation?
That there's such a stigma, and that it's I've got to hide my pad, or I've got to hide my tag.
I didn't hide anything.
Really? You just whip it out?
Yeah.
I don't think I could do
don't even put it in my pocket. I walk with it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What
are they going to do?
Clap.
But this is my point. It makes absolutely no sense, because do you know what privilege it is? Maybe I am woke, or the flip. But But it is like because if you look at, if we're really talking about it from an international lens point of view, like so many people have they just don't have access to pads at all.
Yeah, that's so true.
And it's like stuff like that. So actually, no.
Even here, people can't afford pads.
People can't, people can't afford pads. People are just like, they just don't have it. Like period poor, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
so it's
period
just,
poverty, isn't
it? It's just ridiculous. Actually, I think the more shame you have around it, the more shame we have around our bodies. It's patriarchal thoughts, and it's always. So there was a quote. Sorry, do you want to say something before I finish? I'll finish with a quote.
No, you.
I was going to say there's a quote that Margaret Atwood wrote, and I just want to bring it up. So I will bring it up whilst you say your point.
I was going to say, I think I feel a little shame now about walking to the toilet with a pad in my hand is because if at best it's a bodily function, I'm going to the toilet to do one or three things.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
and neither needs to be necessarily discussed.
It is what it is. You go to the toilet as well. The other thing is, and if it's a case of this is like for me, like it could cause medical thing, leave me in peace. Because then I don't want you to come around and ask, why are you okay? I have period pains. Look.
You know where I go on. I'm not sat on the toilet on my phone.
Making it clear.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for listening to us. But I just want to end with a quote before, unless you guys have anything to say.
No.
And this describes it perfectly, I think. So Margaret Atwood wrote, "You are a woman with a man inside watching a woman. You are your own voyeur." So the idea is, even if we're just being ourselves, because patriarchy is so instilled in us, we still subscribe to patriarchal norms anyway. And that is such a key integral part of womanhood that we need to like talk about and like figure out. And the only way you can do that is through community. And not just women that remind you of yourself, not just women you like, not just women, you know, that you have things in common with, but actually all women. And that doesn't mean all women are right. You still need to be able to call it out, but that's the whole point of community. You should be able to call people out on stuff that is wrong and still be there as and when needed. So that's what I would like to end with, is just actually we all have these patriarchal thoughts inside of us, but the only way to counteract that is actually to do better with women around you. And I'd like to end on that. But yeah, please share your thoughts in the comments, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Also, make sure you check out our campaign video. It's going to be linked below for #beingwomen.
Yes. Forgot about that.
Bye.
Bye.